Good morning, welcome to EMTV. Universities are structurally underfunded. That is the general opinion of the academics who travelled to The Hague on Tuesday. They believe that the government should take action now to save the academic world. And if you want more money, you have to stand out. In a moment you can see for yourself how the academics tried just that. But first, news. The study groups in problem-based learning will probably become larger. Faculties ESSB and ESL are working on plans to revise the learning method they currently use. Larger student groups are one of the possible changes to follow. The Dutch cabinet set aside 500 million euros for corona self-tests for students and teachers. These tests could make one lecture day a week safely possible again. And enough tests or not, physical lectures could start again at the end of April. Students and teachers cannot be forced to take a test. In 2019, the salaries of 16 executives at Dutch universities exceeded the maximum set by the law. Former board member of the Erasmus University, Christel Balen, received 40,000 euros above the norm. However, the university's accountant approved this. It would have been delayed holiday pay, amongst other things. Politics leave the universities out in the cold, or so said the academics who protested in The Hague on Tuesday. And they took the cold quite literally. And harsh weather during this protest, Pieter Duisenburg, chair of the Association of Dutch Universities, took a dive into the Hofvijver. EM editors Feba Soekmane and Elme Smaling followed the protest last Tuesday afternoon, and they started the coverage at The Hague Central Station.
It's 1:45 and we are now at The Hague Central Station. The protesters of the alarm day will meet at the Lange Voorhout at 1 o'clock, so we are going to meet them there.
Zijn onze volksvertegenwoordigers en het is aan jullie de taak om te zorgen dat onze docenten ons niet meer midden in de nacht mailen. Om te zorgen dat ze niet meer burn-outs hebben en neervallen voor de collegezalen. Wij staan hier omdat onze ontwikkeling tekort gedaan wordt.
Why are you wearing a snorkel today? Because you're not going to dive in, right?
So the glasses are, the swimming gear is symbolic to indicate that, as the Dutch expression goes, the water has reached our lips and we're about to drown.
Can you tell us about your creation? Because I see that you have a banner here and also a suitcase.
Yeah. No, this has accompanied me to a couple of demonstrations already, but I think it's nothing much has changed, so I think I can use it again. Sort of budget cuts put critical minds to sleep. The more work pressure people are facing, what I just mentioned, the more they are becoming disciplined not to speak out, and the more they actually produce research and teaching that is in line with sort of conventional norms in society, rather than questioning them and highlighting how to think differently for a more sustainable society. And that's basically what this is about. I mean, if we want a university that contributes to solutions for the pressing problems we face, I mean, we're facing a big pandemic that is related to the type of economic system we have that treats nature in a particular way. If you want to look for solutions for all these pressing problems, you need people who actually are not disciplined by work contracts that make them produce like a Toyota factory.
Can you tell us about this event today?
Yeah, we've just had a demonstration here today, and we're demonstrating for more investments in the universities. There's a structural deficit in financing of 1.1 billion euros, and that needs to be solved. The pressure at the workplace in universities is simply too high.
But you've been protesting for several years now. Do you see any change in higher education?
Now, so there have been some investments in the past, but it has been too short, too little, and so we do need a change. And there has been an official report written, an investigation was done, which was done on behalf of the Ministry of Education. And this report has actually established that the deficit in the universities is 1.1 billion euros. And what we think is actually that this is the investment that's required. This is the change that we need today.
How do you think the higher education is doing now?
Yeah, so the coals, actually the water, we've chosen the water to envisage how it feels and looks and what it looks like when there's a Dutch saying, when the water is at your lips, the water is still is until here, and that's actually the case. So the water has been going higher and higher for the employees, for the scientists, and it's at our lips, and that's what we have tried to depict basically.
If you don't get the 1.1 billion euros, what are the consequences?
Now then, in any case, the work pressure will not subside. It will not get lower, and so that's a huge problem that we will have to do something about. But also the quality of education will go down. There will be more students in the classrooms. The quality of research will go down, and in the end, the Netherlands will lose out as being a knowledge economy.
And you just took a dive in the Hofvijver. Are you wearing a swimming trunk underneath?
Yes, I'm wearing a swimming trunk underneath, so it's a little bit warm. I have to tell you, it's still freezing. Of course, the last few days were quite cold, so the water has become a little bit more colder over the past few days.
What is your goal for today?
Yeah, our goal is that the structural funding comes. The figures are there, 1.1 billion, and they should be given, because we cannot go on with just ad hoc funding here and there when there is this problem that has been raised from years now. So with Voinaxi we are fighting for this already from several years, and it's all clear. I mean, now there is a report of PwC, but we knew already before that the funding is not sufficient to deliver a good public education in the Netherlands.
And when we're talking about WO in Actie, your name is apparently the only one from the Erasmus University. Is that true?
No, here you have Professor Takema, Giulia Evolvi. I should say it was a little bit, I was a bit disappointed because our university didn't send an email to all staff as other universities did. So I truly hope that our executive board get closer to Voinaxi, get more engaged. This is not just symbolic politics, but it is deeply important that those who lead the university also connect to the people that work every day at the university. And the absence of our executive board members here today, I find it regretful. And I also find it regretful that there was not enough communication as in other places. But I hope it will change in the future and that they will get inspiration from Peter Dausenberg jumping in the water.
How is this funding affecting your job at the university?
Sure, yeah. Well, I have a temporary contract. I'm a lecturer in the Department of Media and Communication at the Erasmus School of History, Culture and Communication. And that means I have to provide a good quality education while at the same time always applying for other jobs and always applying for my own funding to get my research done because I don't have any research funding. And on top of that, of course, the constant anxieties of not having my contract prolonged or renovated, and the constant anxieties of not knowing where I will have to move next. So I think that to provide a very good education, you cannot rely on so many people on temporary contracts, because you have to guarantee students continuity in those that follow them throughout their bachelor and their graduate education.
What is the biggest problem in the higher education, in your opinion?
I think the biggest problem is that there is not enough structural money, so money for longer periods of time that we can count on, which would enable us to hire younger people and give them proper academic careers so that they can actually do research and teach together, rather than just be hired for 2 years to do all the teaching and have no prospects at all.
And the lack of money in higher education, do you feel it in your everyday job or everyday life?
Yes, well, that's complicated because personally, as a professor, I'm well protected. But the group I work with, I need to send people away after 2 years because their contract is up. People who function perfectly and who I would like to retain for a longer period, but that's not possible because of the lack of structural funds.
Do you think things will change with this kind of protest, or do you think that we have to take another strategy?
I think there are always multiple strategies that you need to pursue. Demonstrating like this is just one, but I think also the VSNU should lobby. People from other parts of society should also ask attention for the importance of higher education. So it should be multiple strategies. The unions, VO and AXI, but also people from civil society, business, who need to stress that the Netherlands needs to be follow the international trend of funding higher education, which we don't at the moment.
It's 2:30 in the afternoon, and due to the weather, the protest is already finished. Now all we can do is wait and see if the politicians behind me here in The Hague have received the message.
Thank you Elmer Smaling and Faber Sukmana for this report on the Academics Protest Day. Motivating yourself daily becomes harder and harder during a pandemic. Therefore, we close this episode with a short motivational message.
Right. Today, we are going to put on our big person undergarments and go do the difficult thing that we have been putting off. And when we are done, we can have a small cry and a nice chocolate to make ourselves feel better. All right? Huzzah!
Thank you all for watching. EMTV will be back next Thursday and again at 9 a.m. Do you want to keep up to date with the latest news? Then go to erasmusmagazine.nl.